Hey, this is Fellow's new French press, the Clara. And maybe you've heard, but this is a $100 French press. Now there are all sorts of reviews already on the internet, so I thought rather than just making another review, I thought it'd be more fun to compare it to a more popular French press manufacturer. Ikea! You see, Ikea sells a pretty popular French press, and it's 10 bucks. It's pretty popular. And that's the interesting thing about the French press, because it finds itself in this very interesting bridge between cafe and brewing coffee at home. And often it's a lot of people's first home brewer. And a lot of people don't want to spend $100 on a brewer. Mission accomplished. They have the single wall one. This was $10. And then they have their premium French press, 20 bucks. But this is a dual walled glass French press. $100, $20. So here's the test for today. Can I make as good of a coffee on this $20 French press as the Fellow $100 French press? And then one of the most important claims that Fellow has is how this mesh is a better quality. Fellow claims that this actually is a really good quality mesh filter. Can it outperform a $20 French press? Let's find out. Okay, we've got a $10 French press, a $20 French press, and a $100 French press. I'm actually kind of excited to find out what's gonna happen here. Can a $10 French press brew coffee as good as a $100 one?
That's a good question.
So to test these out, I'm gonna use the exact same recipe for all three French presses. I'm gonna leave the recipe down in the description below if you wanna check that out. But it is the recipe that Fellow prescribes for the Clara out of the box. Some key factors that I'm gonna be looking for in this test: how do these French presses hold the temperature of the coffee water? I expect that the Clara is gonna do the best in this regards, but what I'm really wanting to know in this test is, can this French press, or even this French press, brew coffee as good as this one? They do use different mesh filters, so let's find out. Okay, so I could do a blind taste test here. We just had a baby. My wife is off to the doctor. I just don't have those resources available to me. So I'm gonna try and do this unbiasedly. What I've noticed right off the bat, measuring the temperature of these cups. The single-walled Ikea to the dual-walled, this one held the temperature. I mean, that's pretty obvious that's gonna happen. By about 15 degrees more. That's pretty substantial. The Fellow Clara was easily the hottest. This thing is no joke for temperature stability. And I will give it some credit there. This thing was 7 degrees hotter than the dual-walled. So let's taste them. So much hotter. Wow. Now, normally I wouldn't drink from glasses, but I wanted you to see the clarity in the cup. These are very classic. This is what you would get from your average French press. If you've had French press before, this would be no different from what you've had in the past. I think the Clara is a very interesting French press, and I have my thoughts on it. Stick around for that. I will say that the clarity on this cup is a little bit better than these. And I will say, even for a $100 French press, this mesh filter isn't revolutionary, but it is better than your $10 Ikea French press. That's good. Is this the most scientific test today? Absolutely not. There's gonna be somebody else who does this a lot more scientific than I do. But I thought it'd be really interesting to have this comparison. Can you brew a coffee as good on a $10 French press as a $100 one? To be quite honest, not quite, but close enough. Here's the deal with the Clara. I think this is a French press for somebody who wants a premium French press. I think that goes without saying. But I don't think this is the French press designed for the person who wants the best cup of French press. Fellow might think it is. I personally don't. I think there are better French presses on the market to brew a better cup of coffee. Instead, what I think this French press is for, maybe you have a kitchen that you want something that looks aesthetically pleasing. Maybe you have the Fellow Stag kettle and you have the 𝙬𝙤𝙩𝙆 grinder. Aesthetically, it just fits in. Some things to be noted: I do prefer the glass walls on the traditional French press. Certain recipes call to press your French press until it's just above the coffee bed, and I find it very hard to do that on the Clara. It's not impossible, but it just makes life a little harder. So would I spend $100 on the Clara French press? I think I would if it was a gift for somebody else. I don't think I would buy this French press for myself. I really don't. And I am a huge Fellow fanboy. I do love Fellow gear. And while the link down below is an affiliate link for this, I'm being honest with you, I probably wouldn't buy this for myself. I'll always be honest in my reviews, and I need to tell you that straight up front. Maybe you're the one who brews on the French press every single day. Then for you, maybe investing in the Clara would be worth it. There might be better options on the market though, and maybe we'll address that in a future video. But if you do love Fellow, you want this to match your kitchen, I think this is the French press for you. There's no doubting that this is a premium feeling French press. It feels premium. It looks beautiful, but it really comes down to, is that worth it for you? As much as I do love the Clara, and I probably would use it, I'm gonna be giving this away to my patrons. You see, my patrons enable me to have a budget to be able to do unbiased reviews. I'm also gonna give away these Ikea French presses to my patrons too. Also, if you didn't know, my patrons, we have a Discord, so if you're interested in becoming part of a community outside of the comment section down below, which definitely leave me a comment down on which French press you would choose if you were me, then definitely join us on the Discord over there. If this video was entertaining or educational, or you just enjoyed it, definitely leave that like button. It really does help me and help this channel out, and we'll see you guys all next time. Oh, before you go, one last thing. Fellow has given me a 10% coupon off for you. If you use code Kyle10 at fellowproducts.com, you'll get 10% off the Clara or anything Fellow, and it gives me a little kickback too. You get a discount, I get a kickback. All right, that's it for me. We'll see you guys next time. Bye.